Hey, stargazers. We're diving deep into Taurus today, all thanks to this cool podcast I found called Shoutouts. So if you're a Taurus, know a Taurus, or just, curious about astrology in general, this one's for you.
Yeah, we're going to get into all those classic Taurus traits, the love of luxury, that stubborn streak everybody talks
Oh,
about.
yeah, the stubbornness. Gotta love that, right?
But we're also going to dig a little deeper and see what else is going on. Like, did you know they're surprisingly compatible with certain signs? Capricorn, Virgo, even Cancer.
Really? Cancer. That's
Yeah,
kind of unexpected.
it is. But it totally makes sense when you look at the details. And of course, we'll talk about how some of those seemingly positive traits, like that strong will, can sometimes backfire.
I'm intrigued. Let's get started then. So, shadow signs kicks things off with the basics, reminding us that Taurus is an earth sign ruled by Venus. Makes sense, right? That whole down to earth, but loves the finer things vibe.
Exactly. Earth sign, so practical, grounded, loves stability. But then you've got Venus, the planet of love, beauty, pleasure. It's like they want a solid foundation in every aspect of their lives, but they also want to enjoy the ride.
It's like building a luxury cabin in the woods.
Right? Yeah, that's a great analogy. Stability and indulgence all rolled into one.
I like it. So the podcast also mentioned loyalty and reliability as like major Taurus strengths.
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just about being a good friend. It's deeper than that. It's like this deep-rooted sense of commitment that they bring to everything they do. Work, relationships, you name it. They're the ones you can always count on. They show up no matter what.
That's awesome. Okay, but let's talk about the elephant in the room. That stubborn streak. Shadow signs didn't shy away from that at all, did they?
Nope, not at all. And they actually explained it in a way that kind of shifted my perspective. So Taurus is a fixed sign, astrologically speaking. And fixed signs are all about stability, resisting change. Like they've got their routines, their beliefs, and they're not easily swayed.
So it's not just about being difficult, it's more like,
More like they know what they want and they're going to stick to it. Like imagine an oak tree, right? Strong roots, unwavering.
that's a good visual. So how does all of this play out in relationships? Because shadow signs highlighted some compatible matches, and some of them I get, but others not so much. Capricorn and Virgo, yeah, I can see that. But Cancer, that seems kind of out there.
Right. It seems like a weird one at first because Cancer is all about emotions, nurturing, that kind of stuff. And Taurus is, well, Taurus. But when you look closer, it actually makes a lot of sense. Remember, Taurus is ruled by Venus. They crave love and being cared for. And Cancer, ultimate nurturer.
Ah, okay, so Cancer brings the emotional warmth, and
Yeah.
Taurus brings the stability and security. It's like a perfect balance.
Exactly. Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
And then you've got Capricorn and Virgo, which also make a lot of sense. Capricorn's an earth sign too, so they get each other on that practical level. And Virgo, with their attention to detail, their love of order, they just vibe with Taurus's need for stability.
So it's not just about randomly listing compatible signs. It's like shadow signs is actually explaining the why behind it.
Exactly. Astrology is a system, right? There's a reason behind everything.
I'm with you, but what about those less compatible matches like Aries and Aquarius? Shadow signs mention those two. Opposites attract and all that, but can they really make it work long term?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And we are going to get into that, don't you worry. But first, we got to talk about how all these Taurus traits translate into careers. Like, what kind of jobs are they naturally drawn to? Back again for more Taurus talk.
You know it. And I gotta say, shadow signs really got me thinking about some career paths that honestly never would have crossed my mind for a Taurus.
Right. Like, we know they're all about stability, being practical.
Right, down to earth kind of folks.
But then they throw out stuff like business and finance, which, okay, I get that. Makes sense.
Yeah, responsible, good with money.
Exactly. But then they mentioned real estate, and I was like, huh, really?
Yeah. I don't picture a Taurus being like a super salesperson,
Okay.
pushy.
No, not at all. But think about their connection to the physical world. They like tangible things, beautiful spaces.
True, true. They appreciate those things.
And real estate, it offers that long-term stability they crave. Plus, potential for growth, building something.
I see. I see. It's less about selling and more about helping people find their, like, perfect home, their sanctuary.
Exactly. Creating that little slice of paradise. And get this, they also mentioned culinary arts and fashion.
Whoa, hold on, really? Now that's a curveball.
Right. But think about it. Taurus loves quality, appreciates beauty.
Okay, yeah, those fancy ingredients, the attention to detail, like those cooking shows where they make those super intricate desserts.
Yes, that's totally a Taurus thing. It's
Oh,
about
that's
creating something beautiful, functional that people can enjoy.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. It's not about the specific job. It's more like finding a career that aligns with those core values.
You got it. Stability, practicality, beauty, and that connection to the physical world. Now, shadow signs did mention a potential pitfall when it comes to Taurus and finances.
Ooh, dude.
They called it the Taurus paradox. Basically, they love to earn money, good at managing
It's
it,
responsible. Yeah.
but they also want to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Right. The finer things.
That tracks. Gotta treat yourself.
Exactly. So sometimes that can lead to overspending, especially on luxury items, experiences, anything that brings them comfort and pleasure
So it's like this internal battle between being thrifty and wanting to indulge.
all the time. It's a tough one. Save for the future or enjoy the moment. It's that constant push and pull.
Gotta find that balance, I guess.
Yeah.
Moderation and all that.
Yep, exactly. And speaking of balance, shadow signs also talked about some of the, well, more challenging aspects of the Taurus personality.
Let's get into it. We touched on stubbornness. What else did they say?
Well, they talked about how that fixed nature, that need for security, can sometimes turn into possessiveness, especially in relationships.
Ah, the green-eyed monster. Can't let go.
Yeah, can be a little intense sometimes. But also wondering, like, can't a little possessiveness be a good thing? Like a sign that they really care?
Oh, totally. It's all about how it's expressed, right?
Yeah.
A little bit can be endearing, but if it gets out of control, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, all about boundaries, communication, the usual relationship stuff.
For sure. And another thing they mentioned was Taurus's resistance to change, which, can be good, provide stability, but it can also hold them back, prevent growth.
Yeah, like getting stuck in a rut, too comfortable with routine.
Yep, that's it. So for Taurus to really thrive, got to learn to embrace change, at least a little bit. Trust that their foundation is strong enough to handle it.
Flexibility, right. But without losing that core stability.
Exactly. Finding that sweet spot. And that's where understanding your shadow side comes in. Recognizing those pitfalls, figuring out how to manage them.
Self-awareness, basically. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses. Now, shadow signs also kept talking about Taurus having this hidden depth that most people don't see. Oh yeah, definitely. They may seem calm and steady on the surface.
It's a strong, silent type.
Right. But underneath, there's this whole world of sensuality, deep emotion. Remember, Venus is all about pleasure, and that influences everything for Taurus.
So it's not just about enjoying those material comforts. It's like they experience the world through their senses. Art, music, nature, good food.
It's all connected. They savor those moments, connect with their emotions, really live life to the fullest.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. It's like we're peeling back the layers, finding all these hidden gems.
And we're just getting started. We haven't even talked about their creativity, their loyalty, their connection to nature.
All right, I'm hooked. Tell me everything. Back for our final Taurus deep dive. And shadow signs kept mentioning the strong connection Taurus has with the physical world, and I want to dig into that a little more.
Oh, for sure. We've talked about their love of nice things, being practical, all that.
Right, but it all kind of goes back to their element, right? Earth.
Exactly. Taurus is an earth sign. And earth is all about grounding, stability, tangible stuff, things you can see, touch, experience with your senses.
Okay, I get that. But what does that actually look like, day to day?
Well, think about it. For a Taurus, that translates to a deep need for physical comfort, love of nature, and appreciation for quality craftsmanship, like things that are well made.
So it's not just about enjoying a comfy couch or a pretty garden. It's about feeling connected to their surroundings, like literally grounded.
Exactly. They find peace in nature, whether it's hiking, gardening, whatever. And that appreciation for craftsmanship, it goes beyond just wanting nice things. It's about valuing the skill, the time it took to create something beautiful and lasting.
It's like they're drawn to things that are authentic, real, makes sense why they love natural materials, handmade stuff, all that.
Totally. And it influences their approach to life, too. Practical, down to earth, got to see those tangible results.
So not really the type to get lost in daydreams, then?
Not really. More about setting realistic goals, putting in the work, enjoying what they've earned.
Got to see that progress, right?
Yep. A finished project, a garden growing, money in the bank, it's got to be real.
Makes sense. And that practical side probably shows up in their relationships, too, huh?
Oh, absolutely. They're not into anything superficial. They want something real, stable, long-term, something they can build a life with.
They put in the work, just like with everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once a Taurus commits, they're in it for the long haul. That loyalty is a big deal for them.
That's pretty amazing, especially in today's world. It's like they bring a sense of calm to everything.
Yeah, they're the rock, the steady presence.
So, as we wrap up this Taurus deep dive, what's the one thing you hope listeners take away from this?
Good question. I think it's important to remember that Taurus is a sign of duality. They've got that strength, but also gentleness. They're practical, but also sensual. They crave stability, but also love to enjoy life.
They're complex.
Exactly. And that's what makes them so fascinating.
I agree. Whether you're a Taurus yourself or you know one, I hope this deep dive has given you a new perspective on this grounded, luxurious sign.
Me too. And hey, remember, astrology is all about self-discovery.
It's a journey.
Right. So take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't, and keep exploring.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining me on this Taurus adventure, everyone. Until next time, keep looking up.